7:02.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'd like to call the meeting of August 9th, 2022 to order. Please rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. It will be Lucian. Would you like to come up? Lucian Simone is going to help us start the pledge. He is one of our day campers. Come on over. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And he even wore a tie for us. That is a gentleman. Okay, please remain standing for a moment of silence to remember those who served our country in the past and those who continue to serve our country today. Okay, thank you. Please note the emergency exits are the door behind us and the door you came in the front. We've got a busy night. Let's see. We will start by, I will make a motion to open the public to continue the public hearing on short-term rentals.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Let me have it opened. I know that I left out on the back table some of our rules for public comment period at town board meetings and public hearings, so I just want to run through it a little bit right now. We have, during the segment of the meeting designated public comments, speakers shall limit their remarks to 3 minutes and will be advised by the presiding officer when the 3 minutes have expired. Speakers are requested to conclude their remarks at that point. All remarks should be addressed to the town board as a body, not to any one member. Speakers shall observe the rules of decorum set forth in subsection C below. Okay. So these are the guidelines. We were a little bit looser last week. It was the opening, we had opened the public hearing on it, but I'd like to abide by the 3-minute rule from each person, and there'll be no dialogue back and forth. So each person can come up and have their say, but we won't go back and forth with the audience when someone's speaking. So I will start with Rita. Take your time.
Hello. I spoke last time about some of the issues of the short-term rental that's directly to the side of me on 15 Hilton Road. And I had some additional just comments mainly to try to figure out some of the issues that are going on. One is that particular last Sunday, there were 6 cars in that driveway next door. The house is a 4-bedroom, single-family house. They advertise it on the Airbnb as 5 bedrooms and 3 full bathrooms, but that's not what the town parcel has for that particular thing. I called the building, I talked to the building inspector via email and asked about all the electrical things that they put in recently. They put in an elevator lift for people to be able to get around inside the house. They've built a whole bunch of other things. And she said, don't worry about it. The New York State owns them. Now it's an Airbnb. The corporation that lives behind me, that bought the property behind me, is CBS Community-Based Services. They purchased that property, but they're running it as a commercial entity. So my problem is how they're able to get away without having proper permits, or me being brushed off by the building inspector that it's none of my business. So I just want to just bring that up.
Yeah, and I'll look into that. I think she may have been referring to the fact that after looking at it, that it was a state agency for people with disabilities, the original site, not this particular one. And she may have thought they were covered under those inspections.
I know Joe, he'll talk later, but I know that I looked up on their site, and it appears to be, I think some people confuse that with the HCBS that the state provides. Whatever the H is, community-based services. But to my knowledge, this is an independently owned nonprofit corporation. And it seems to me that as such, they should abide by the building issues that we all have to abide by. You know, people leaving the property, like the other night, a motorcycle that was not a guest staying at the property, but at 2 o'clock in the morning jumped on his motorcycle and revved out of the neighborhood. The people here are the neighbors that can tell you that's true. And, you know, as we talked about, the occupancy tax and the money that they make, now this is a nonprofit organization behind me, they're making a profit through this house. Are they paying New York State tax on that? Are they paying occupancy tax? So those are some of my issues, that we all pay a lot of tax money. You know, I bought the property to live in a residential, single-family area, and now we're inundated with vehicles just about every weekend, and not just for 2 days, but often Thursday through Monday. I left there tonight, and there's 4 cars in the driveway on a Tuesday night. So that was my main thing. So I just wanted to add that to what I talked about last week.
I appreciate that. Thank you for coming tonight, Rita.
Yes.
Joe?
My name is Joe Tresca from 2 Townsend Road. I spoke last week about my overall concerns, but not this past weekend, but the weekend before, there was a major incident at the property where a young girl, 23 years old, actually went missing. She left the property and she was later found dead. We called Airbnb about it, on top of the numerous other complaints we filed with the property. And my problem is Airbnb boasts that they're community-based. We're your community, we're with you, we want to be your neighbors. We went ahead and did a lot of back and forth with them, information-wise, and they closed the investigation today into the property. And their response was, "Thank you for your patience as we looked into this report. Unfortunately, due to privacy policies, we're unable to provide the details and actions applied as the result of this report. But these actions were taken in accordance with our policies, procedures, community standards, which you can read here." And they left us a link to read a 19-page thing written by a lawyer. I don't speak lawyer. Rest assured that we've taken... Maybe he can decipher it. Rest assured that we've taken further measures to protect our community, and it would not have been possible without your help. Additionally, our privacy policies prevent us from releasing detailed information about a person's account to a different individual. We consider the incident respectfully closed in the time being. However, in the future, if you need us again, please call. Safely, with respect, safety will respectfully disengage any further communication. So we couldn't even send them back any further correspondence just to find out any additional information, because they will not release anything. We have found that they took the listing down. The owner put up a brand new listing. Same house, same property, same information, to the point now where he's removed the closet bedrooms and now he just has floor mattresses. There was 8 girls that stayed there over the weekend. It's made for 6 people. It's legal.
Are you talking air mattresses?
It just says floor mattresses. I mean, they talk about how they're a community. They talk about how they want to be part of the community, but they can't give any information to the community. They can't. We're trying to, live there. And at the end of the day, they just don't want to be part of the community, Airbnb in general. I mean, in their aspect, working with, CBS down there, they have their about section that you can easily read online. And it states, since 1981, the company has been earning trust through the commitment and compassion in supporting people. Our goal is to always provide each person with opportunities for a meaningful life tailored to their unique preferences and personalities in a safe and nurturing environment. If that's their mission statement, it should spread across all of their properties. And their neighborhood is not a safe and nurturing environment from what I've heard with everything that is going on, and neither is mine. Since this all happened, I now have cops in my neighborhood regularly patrolling. We never saw a deputy or a trooper in our neighborhood ever.
3 minutes.
In closing, Airbnb is not the answer. They're hurting neighborhoods.
Thank you, Joe. Kurt Fox.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Kurt Fox, obviously. I live on 4 Townsend Road, right next to my neighbor Joe Tresca, and we share the same opinion on he has gone into extreme depth in finding out information that the average person does not know. I live right there, right in front of these people, and they are all over the place. They're driving through the neighborhood. It's a commercial, unmanned house. I don't like the fact that these people are driving around. They go around 3 sides of my house. I don't like strangers driving in my house on a regular basis. I'm scared of it. I'm looking for every reason to see if I can get this at least manned, have someone living on the property to have less trouble. Someone dying that had just been there hours prior, that's pretty wild. That's pretty wild. Nobody knows the reason what happened. Another incident, I had some people there not long ago, and they were throwing rocks from the street into my yard, and I'm sitting there. We're having dinner, and it's coming out outside by the pool, and they're throwing rocks through the thing. And my son, excuse me, what do you think you're doing? And he's throwing rocks through the woods over the top of our fence and in our area. I'm just frustrated to see that this is going on as it is. I don't think this is going to end well again. Anyway,
Okay,
that's my story.
thank you. And then we have Michelle Alexander. You ready?
Hi, I'm Michelle. I live at 62 Allery Road. The problems people have raised and the concerns are real. And we need to figure out how to address them. Being able to live in a neighborhood that isn't full of party houses and houses full of trash and this recent death, that's serious stuff. My concern is the law as written is overly restrictive, and ultimately I believe will lead to negative consequences for our town. In trying to understand how bans or severe restrictions on short-term rentals have impacted other towns, I found data that suggests towns have seen less investment in their overall property and value of their residences compared to neighboring areas that continue to see growth. I think this law can be substantially modified and simplified to still achieve the same goal of creating safe, clean neighborhoods that we all want to live in. I would suggest a simple permitting requirement of needing to be a permanent full-time resident to be able to rent out your domicile. I think the extra restrictions on top are unnecessary and lead to effectively banning short-term rentals altogether, limiting the amount of tourism opportunities we have in this town where there are no places to stay. I do not see how we could ever set out a town goal to be a place that provides tourism when there is no place to stay in this town aside from short-term rentals. And I think limiting short-term rentals completely also takes off the opportunity for supplemental income for anyone who lives in this town who wants to be able to take that opportunity responsibly and respectively to their neighbors. I also have a letter from Bill Crane, who has work tonight and can't be here. If the board will allow, I could read, but if you have that.
The town clerk has it, and she's going to read it during written
Excellent.
comments.
Thank you.
You're welcome. John Walker. You have those letters, right?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm John Walker. I live up on the other side. Rita's basically my neighbor. We've known each other for 20 years. Basically, I consider myself the mayor of the street. I pick up all the garbage, and I also walk on Meadow Lane, and there's also another house very similar to that. I don't know if you're aware of it.
Yeah.
They're banging plywood, sheetrock, everything, and it's disturbing to. I used to have 2 dogs walking the street, and I have to every time I see a car go by, they're going too fast. When you see garbage on the road, if it's not picked up, you're going to see more garbage, and it has increased. When I walk around, they used to have 1 garbage can there. Now there's 2 garbage cans filled. And when that garbage can gets filled over, got knocked over and so on, it's on my yard, and all the stuff comes out and makes me look like a slob. And once again, if it's left there, it's going to continue, and people think that there's no problem about throwing it out. And of course, when I pull out of my driveway, the way the hill is, people can come flying over the top of the hill, and you don't know what's going on. And then I've seen cars from New Jersey, Connecticut, and we basically wave to each other, this, that, and the other thing, but it's an unfriendly environment when you see a car that you don't know And and people, there are a lot of other people like to walk their dogs, and it's a factor. Should we do what they did on Meadow Lane, put speed bumps down, and then what happened was the people started weaving around onto the road and trashing the road and this, that, and the other thing. Right now, you got a situation where there's self-made speed bumps because there's holes in the road, so that slows cars down, and that's my issue right at this point in time.
I think Meadow is a private road, no?
Meadow Lane
Yeah,
is a
Meadow Lane
private
is a
road
prived
owned
road.
by one person who has both
Right,
sides under
right,
his control. It's
yeah.
my next door neighbor also.
Yeah, okay.
And somehow there's 10 cars there every night, every single night in that place.
Okay, thank you. Laura Pinkington? I'm sorry.
Hi. I live at 37 Schoolhouse Lane, and I'm at the end of Hilton. So you make a turn right in front of my house where the Airbnb is and so forth. There's a lot of traffic coming out of there, loud traffic. I realize my house is close to the road. That's no one's fault. I bought a property that is such, but it has changed tremendously. And you can't leave your windows open because of the sound of traffic on a small Schoolhouse Lane, which is a beautiful winding road.
It's a very nice rural.
Exactly.
I'm sure
And
that's why you bought it.
that's exactly right, because that's the side my house is facing. And you wouldn't believe that there's actually a dead end on Hilton when you see the traffic that comes through there. So I'm here in support of my neighbors who are dealing with this problem, and I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. And I just wish there could be some more restrictive, I don't know, laws or statutes on, you know, the books to prevent this from happening. I don't know what the solutions are, but the ones they suggested, I support.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, somebody else from Schoolhouse 37, is it Lewis?
Yeah.
Oh, great, okay.
Yeah, I just, Louis Cahuth, I live at 37 Schoolhouse Lane. As with everyone else that's said, the noise level has gone up. Our house is about 20 feet away from the road, so any midnight cars that come through is very loud. And yeah, it is pretty bad, and it has increased recently. You know, if there's bad elements in the neighborhood, it's just going to bring it down. So I don't know what kind of you know, laws are out there that can limit that, or you know, cap it at least.
Well, that's the
Any type of
short-term
noise
rental we're
ordinance, maybe?
considering.
Is there a noise ordinance that can be enforced?
We do, that's very hard. You have to be there at the moment that they're doing it with a noise meter, so it's kind of, that's
Oh, I
a,
have a noise meter.
oh, well, okay.
No,
But
I mean,
correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah, anything would
Craig,
be
but the
appreciated.
noise meters are difficult to enforce,
Yeah, if you have-
implement.
if the language of the statute calls for a certain decibel level, yes.
Yeah,
But there is more general language on our books with regard to discretionary. So it's unreasonable noise. So it's actually it is a little discretionary, but it's definitely prosecutable.
does the
as written.
code enforcement officer have to have heard it, witnessed it, be there in person?
No.
Oh, okay.
So the neighbor or somebody, a third party can witness it and be, as long as they're willing to come to court to prove the case, it's prosecutable.
Okay. I don't know if everybody here, we did have copies back there of the short-term rental law. We have it up on the board, and we have it on the website, so. Okay, thank you. And Leonard?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Leonard Jerem. I live at 112 Via Drive. I don't live in your area. I don't right now have a problem with people wanting to go to Airbnb, I am a little concerned about everything that's in this package, which is what it amounts to, of all the rules and regulations. And my question, my basic question is, who's going to be responsible when something goes wrong? We have a sheriff. We have to rely on the state police at night. We really don't have the sheriffs at night, but we have the state police at night. What's going to happen if something goes wrong on a person's property? These policemen are not New York City cops. They don't know how to deal with conflict. And if you have a problem with another person who's an Airbnb person who's renting a property of a different person, how are they going to be able to deal with that? Also, I think it's a matter of insurance. I don't know, I've never looked into my homeowner's insurance. I don't know if anybody else has. But I know the homeowner's insurance are very strict about what you can and can't claim if something gets broken or busted or whatever. I applaud the fact that maybe people are trying to make money to pay for their taxes or the increase of living in a rural area, but this is still considered a rural area, and I would like to see it stay that way. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that was the end of people who signed up. Is there anyone else in the audience who came late or didn't sign up who'd like a chance to speak on this? Do we have any written comments?
We have two.
Okay.
So the first written comment I received from Bill Crane, residing at 254 Gardner Hollow Road in Poquag. Beekman Supervisor Mary Cavucci and the Town Board. I am writing with respect to the proposed local law on short-term rentals. The proposal could be modified to make it more effective. It could continue to address neighbors' complaints without imposing so many obstacles and restrictions on renters. Here are two specific suggestions. First, the law should permit the rental of structures apart from the main dwelling. It should allow accessory structures such as cottages on the property or housing above a garage. Second, the law should change building inspections from requirements to possibilities. If this change were made, a renter wouldn't have to wait for an inspection to operate or renew a rental. This could be a quiet and an obstacle and a major delay. Instead, the renter would acknowledge that if the town felt the need, a building inspection would take place, and the consequences could be a halt to the rental until problems were fixed. I believe these changes are needed because while neighbors have voiced valid complaints, short-term rentals can play a vital role in the growth of our community. As the comprehensive plan emphasizes, tourism can help our economy. Beekman offers scenic views, hiking trails, and visits to historic sites. Visitors will be attracted to the calm and the peace that our college setting provides, but visitors need places to stay. Responsible short-term rentals, such Airbnbs, can be a real plus. The second letter I received is from Susan Glavick, and she resides at 64 Lime Mill Road in LaGrangeville. Beekman Town Board. The proposed local law on short-term rentals attempts to address complaints by local residents who live next door to properties being used as short-term rentals. The complaints are primarily the result of neighbors living in close proximity to the rented property, and neighbors' complaints should be addressed. However, the Hudson Valley has much to offer visitors. Tourists come to experience the natural beauty, history, farms, restaurants, and cultural full-time residents often take for granted. My real estate agent mentioned that younger travelers almost always seek lodging using short-term rentals instead of booking hotels. This is a trend that is only going to get more popular with time. The town of Beekman would be wise to encourage tourism, to support local business, and encourage preservation of open spaces. In my opinion, the proposed law is too restrictive as written. Hosts should be permitted to rent space in accessory structures. The board should also consider a different set of rules regarding whole house rental with lots that are large enough to buffer the effect of the tourists on neighbors. A rented farmhouse sitting on 10 acres will not have the same impact on neighbors as a house on 1 acre. Encouraging alternative uses for larger residential lots might discourage subdivisions and help preserve the rural character of Beekman. It is my hope that the board will modify the existing law to also support tourism in Beekman.
Okay. So at this time, I'm going to make a motion to adjourn the public hearing until September 13th at 7 PM.
No second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. What time is it?
7:27.
It's 7:27. The public hearing is adjourned until September 13th. Thank you all for coming and expressing your opinions. We appreciate the input. Now, nobody wants to hear the rec director? Okay, so we are going to move to, we're going to have a presentation from our new recreation director, Danny Plastini. And we're excited to have her on board as the rec director. She spent 13 years as the assistant rec director in the town of Beekman, and we were delighted that she was willing to move into the director's position in the spring. Her programs are in high gear this summer, and I've had some extremely positive feedback. So you give your presentation, and I'm going to give the feedback after,
Okay.
as soon as I
Sounds great.
find it.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. It has been a great summer at the rec. It was a little hard at the beginning, jumping in at the beginning of May when the season was just about starting, but both myself and my staff and the maintenance department got everything ready. So it's been a great summer. At our dog park at Doherty Park, we have currently 63 feet. The maintenance department mows the lawn on Tuesday mornings. We also have had a tick problem there, and in June we placed some cedar wood chips around the outside to deter the ticks area, and it seems to be working. We will do another edition of that in September. The dog park is open to residents and non-residents. It's a $45 fee if you would like to come and have your dog licensed by the town, and you can go to the dog park. We also have a seniors program. Our seniors are back, thank God, after COVID, and we currently have 142 members. Out of those members, 113 of them are residents and 27 are non-residents. Our senior center runs Mondays and Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., where they play cards and games. They all have lunch together at noon, and then at 1 o'clock there's a bingo game. Everyone that's a senior in the town is welcome to come. It's a free program. We have chair yoga that's on Tuesdays from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. We've suspended it for the summer as we had a lot of people that weren't available to come, so we will be running that again starting the Tuesday after Labor Day. On June 24th, we had our first social event. It was an ice cream social that we had, and we did it under the pavilion. We had a band come. We had 56 attendants, and everyone enjoyed it. On August 18th, we're going to be having a Dog Days of Summer barbecue for our seniors. It is $5 to come. Hamburgers and hot dogs and salads will be available, and we do have a band as well coming to that. Right now, we have 66 residents registered. Deadline for registration is this Thursday, the 15th. On Tuesday, September 22nd is our senior Town of Beekman picnic. Our theme this year is going to be a luau. That is a free event for all senior residents, and additional information on that will be out in the beginning of September. Hopefully in October, we are going to be having an October/Halloween event, and that will be on Thursday, October 27th. Looking forward to 2023 for our seniors. We're hoping to get our trips planned again. Obviously, due to COVID, we had to cancel our trips that we had planned for 22. They are all looking forward to more parties with music. That's what they love to dance. They also have asked to have some themed parties, maybe a murder mystery, decades, or casinos. Again, I'm open to any suggestions or ideas anyone has for our seniors or any of our programs. 2022, we worked with the maintenance department and the Beekman Highway Department to get the lake open this year. It was my first time actually doing the lake myself. The prior director was really responsible for that. And the two new maintenance gentlemen was their first time as well. So the highway department was helpful in getting that done. It was opened on Friday, June 24th. Currently, we have 65 family members and 105 free senior memberships. We average about 50 patrons a day. I wish it was more. Some days are better than others. I can't figure out the dynamics of when people come to the beach, but today was a good day. We tried to change hours based on people's requests. We changed the hours to open at 11 instead of 1, but unfortunately we did not have anyone come between those hours, so to save some money on staffing, we went back to 1 to 7, and that's when it's currently open. For 2023, we'd love to bring the swim team back. Unfortunately, this year we didn't have staff that was certified to have a swim team or to teach lessons. I do have current lifeguards that are working with us now that are interested in taking the course, and hopefully we'll have a swim team and lessons for the children next year. We are also looking into possibly getting a lake pad for a little more enjoyment of the lake for the older children. Looking into maybe doing some late day pass discounts for people that want to come in the evening right after work and not have to pay the full price. And we are looking to possibly move the distribution of the chlorine that goes into the lake currently goes from the far side of the lake into the lake to eliminate them and move them on the outside so that we can have more lake to use for the lake pad. I was very fortunate this year to have a lot of staff. My staff has been wonderful. They are, most of them are returning staff, especially our day camp staffers. They are, both my camp director and my assistant camp director came through the program. They worked for the program, and now they worked as counselors for the program, and now they are the director and the assistant director. They participated in a leadership program, and they've been on staff for a few years now. Our aquatic staff, we were very lucky this year. I know everyone probably heard that there was a shortage of lifeguards. Thank God Beekman did not have that shortage. They all came out of the woodworks in the beginning of June, and we had an abundance of lifeguards, which was a great thing. Out of my 12 staff, I have 5 returning, 3 who were patrons of the beach for years growing up and were on our swim team. We have 4 gate staff, and 1 of them was a returning staff from last year. Our day camp has been a lot of fun this year. We've had a lot of fun with different themes this year. We had 286 full-time registrants over the 4 sessions. We're currently in the first week of our last session. And we've had approximately 70 children per session. Our first theme this year session was Taylor Swift. The second was Elvis Presley. The third was Freddie Mercury. And this session, it's Babe Ruth. They travel back into a time machine that one of the campers built, and they go to the different decades. And then at the end of the session, they have a fun Friday, and they do the theme for the session. Looking forward to Camp 2023. We're going to revamp our camp forms and registration process. It was a little cumbersome in the years past, and we're going to try to make it easier for parents to get their children enrolled in a more timely fashion. We are going to look into possibly offering aftercare, which is what many parents have asked me this past season, if we can get that back again, because it's helpful for them to have an additional time to come pick up their children after working all day. We do have an LIT-CIT program. They work with the counselors and the campers during the day. We're going to revamp that program and do more of an internship type of program going forward, and possibly bring back trips. Did you want me to read that, or are you going to go through the...
Oh, I was going to, did you put all of them up?
I don't think I have all of them up.
Oh, okay. So are you done?
No.
Oh, well, you skip that and I'll get to that
Okay.
at the end. I got them.
Sounds
here.
good. You could skip again.
Hold on, sorry.
That's okay.
Oh, hold on.
So this year we gave the mini golf a little upgrade. our camp and lifeguard staff, prior to opening, I asked them if they have fiberglass paint, would they paint, and they were very excited to do it. So we gave it a little upgrade. It looks gorgeous. I love it. It's fun. Next year, I'm hoping to get a little more vegetation that's easy to maintain and maybe update some of the courses, on the obstacle courses and the greens. We also have a Teen Leadership Council program that runs on Wednesday evenings. It's for children entering high school, grades 9 to 12. They meet on Wednesday nights from 6:30 to 8:30. Next Wednesday, we're having a welcome new members to the lake. They will be able to come to the lake and swim on the 17th from 5:30 to 7:30. If anyone knows any teens interested, please come. We've done 3 Family Fun Fridays. Our first one was July 1st, which was our welcome summer. We did s'mores and music on the beach with the bonfire. We had about 115 patrons.
Wait, hold on, I'm sorry. I'm very bad at this.
You're good. Okay. On July 22nd, we had a band called Noise in the Basement up at Town Center Park, and we had 2 food trucks there. It was a huge reception there. It was awesome. I'm thankful that we're going to be having them again at our October event, which is October 1st. This past Friday night, it was super hot. I don't know if everybody remembers the weather, so unfortunately, we only had about 60 patrons, but we did have the beach open late, and we did have some people enjoying the swimming late at night. Our last farewell to summer will be August 19th from 6 to 8. As I mentioned before, we're going to be having a Fall into Fun on Saturday, October 1st. We're going to do 2 events this year. We're going to do one down at Rec Center Park, where we're going to have crafts, games, and a pumpkin patch for the kids. And then we're going to move up to Town Center Park from 4:30 to 6:30. Again, Noise in the Basement will be there, and we will have food trucks there as well. Looking forward to the fall and winter and summer and spring. We're working to get men's basketball back at Arthur S. May. I'm looking for a volunteer if anyone wants to run the program. The gentleman that used to run the program is no longer able to do so, if anyone knows anyone interested. We also will have our ski snowboard program at Thunder Ridge. And we will have a holiday event called Light Up Beekman in December. We're looking forward to possibly doing Winter Olympics in January, February, a spring color run, and a clean up your park day in the spring. Again, I feel very privileged to have this job, and I loved the summer here. It's been awesome. And I look forward to any ideas, suggestions that anyone might have for our programs going forward. Please email me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We feel very privileged to have you.
Thank you.
You've done a really good job, and anytime anything needs to be done, Danny's the first one to volunteer, the second one is Heather. And they were a big influence with the Remembrance Park and helping us do that, and we'll continue some more in the fall. I'm going to read a few letters from a few people who've used the rec program in the last couple of weeks and their reactions to it. Hi, I just wanted to thank you all for a wonderful session. My kids had so much fun. They talk about it all the time. Also, it meant the world to my daughter that she received the award Camper of the Session for having a positive attitude. We're so proud of her, and I want to thank Dee Dee and Francesca. She adores them. I don't know the other counselors' names, my apology. We cannot wait to come back on 8/8. Have a great weekend, the Shepherd family. And another one, I just wanted to share my love for the Beekman Rec Lake. I grew up on a lake, and having that luxury as a child, I wanted my children to have that same experience. I've been a Beekman resident for 25 years. Once my daughter was born in 2001, we started using the Beekman Rec. I have to say I love this lake, the activities, the playground, the creek. For the past 20 years, I've spent almost every sunny day, hot sunny day at the rec. My friends actually laugh at me as I just love going there to sit. I have to say I've seen the cycle of changes with members, employees, and activities. When we first started going, it was packed, fun, and just a great place to be. Over the year, we've had so many wonderful memories of watching my kids make new friends and playing with their regular friends. The kids loved the sandcastle contest, catching frogs and crawfish in the creek. All 3 of my children learned to swim and taking swim lessons through the rec. 2 of my older children swam on the swim team and loved every minute of it. They truly are amazing swimmers due to the staff and instructors from being on the swim team. We as a family truly loved growing up going to the Beekman Rec. My 2 older children have become too old to come with me, but I still take my youngest son who's 11. We were truly upset when COVID hit and the rec was closed. Last year we were so happy when it opened, but disappointed that COVID still kept people away. This year we're super excited to see that our friends and families are truly enjoying what the rec has to offer. The rec is a beautiful, clean lake and park. I love watching my son play on the playground, run with his friends, and play gaga ball and Newcomb. I truly think that this lake and park is priceless and such an amazing place for kids. The kids come drop their stuff and we do not see them until we have to leave. They enjoy swimming, the creek, eating ice cream, playing mini golf, ping pong. I am always telling people how awesome the Beekman Lake Rec is. It truly is a luxury and a priceless experience for kids. Kids get to be kids, be unplugged, and have some awesome summer fun. I highly recommend that people come and use the park. The water's clean, refreshing, and just so pretty. I'm thankful for the memories that we have had and continue to make at the Beekman Rec. And then another family is from the perspective of the parent, and the child sent his own email too. Spencer took some time out of his busy weekend to construct an email to share his experience at the Beekman Rec this summer. All year he was looking forward to summer camp at the rec, but was very disappointed, to put it mildly, that he had aged out of the program. He was extremely hesitant to join the leadership program because it was an unknown to him. He can be extremely stubborn and inflexible at times. However, he finally begrudgingly decided to give leadership a try, if it meant that he'd be able at least to have a camp experience. While he really wanted to be LIT of sports camp, he was placed in juniors with the hope of getting into sports camp during a different session. At this point, he was only going to go to 1 session. After spending only 2 days as LIT of juniors, he came home over the moon excited about camp thus far. He immediately knew he wanted to sign up for a 2nd session. It's been a very long time since I've seen Spencer so excited and motivated. I'm not really sure what happened during those 2 days, but whatever it was, I am extremely thankful to you, the staff, and all of the counselors who have given Spencer this feeling of family and belonging away from home. I've watched him break down his self-imposed barriers of stubbornness and inflexibility almost daily during the 4 weeks he was at camp this summer. He even got to spend a day as an LIT at sports camp, which has made him and his brother, who's a camper in sports camp, so incredibly unhappy. Thank you for all you do for him. And then Spencer's version. Oh, there's a PS, I'm sorry. He has enjoyed his experience as LIT in camp so much he's decided to participate in the leadership program on Wednesday evenings. Even though he's in the high school marching band, which has a grueling practice all day Wednesdays, he's happy to come home, quickly shower, eat, and then head back to the rec. I'm honestly not sure who this kid is at times, but I love who he's becoming, and your programs are absolutely partly responsible for this growth. Thank you. And then Spencer. Dear Danny, I thought that this year would be my last year being a camper at camp. I later found out that there was a typo on the sign-up form, and the last year was my last year being a camper. I was very sad when I found this out because I'd been looking forward to it ever since last summer ended. My parents suggested I become an LIT, but I didn't want to because I might not get the group I wanted. After a lot of convincing, I decided to go to the interview. After this point, I couldn't change my mind. I went into camp on the first day slightly upset because I didn't get the group I wanted. I decided to try and enjoy it even though it wasn't immediately what I wanted. Giving it a try was a great decision because I had so much fun in the first couple of days. I immediately signed up for the 2nd session. I felt like I was having as much fun as a camper could, but with more power and responsibility, like deciding which games to play. I especially liked when I could make variations of my favorite games like Capture the Flag and Dodgeball. The whole experience was definitely positive, and I'm glad I gave it a try. So you can see the impact that the rec program and this summer under Danny has made on a variety of people, and I'm thrilled that they shared them. And we're so pleased. Everything's going beautifully, and we thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
And then I will give my comments on the resolutions. 1 and 2 are the minutes. 3 is our July budget revisions. And 4 is a resolution approving the payment of claims without routine board claims and auditing process for a specific set of topics. It would be contracts, monthly recurring utility bills, the payroll, and for instance, this month we have our meeting tonight, but we're not meeting for another month. So there are bills to be paid in between. But those bills will be added to the next payment of claims. So for instance, September 13th, and the town board will audit them at that particular point. Resolution 5 is approving a change order 1 for the Gardner Hollow Bridge project. There were some missing nuts and bolts to the Maybe Bridge that we're using when inventory was taken, so the contractor needed to replace them. Resolution number 6 is approving an application and certification for payment number 4 for Town Hall Accessibility Improvement Project to Barone contractors. Number 7 is approving the application certification for payment number 1 for Rec Field Ball Field Project. They've started work on the fence, and this is the initial payment. Number 8 is a resolution introducing a local law to amend the town code concerning administrative fees and penalties, and we will be having a public hearing on that on September 13th at 7:30. Then number 9 is authorizing an agreement with Advanced Testing Company for construction materials testing and inspection, all in connection with the Gardner Hollow Bridge replacement project. We're going to approve the senior picnic fees, and the fees for the town seniors residents are free. There are some seniors that are grandfathered, and they'll be charged $5, and all non-resident seniors and non-seniors will be charged $10 to attend the picnic. And number 11 is approval for the Fall Fun Community Day, which will be scheduled for October 1st. And the music by Noise in the Basement, I was at the concert, as was a number of us up here, over the summer. It was a wonderful evening. The residents really enjoyed it, and I'm hoping it'll be just as nice in October. Approve the hiring of the auditor for auditing the town's financial records for the years 22 through 24. We had received one proposal from the group that has been auditing us, EFPR, and we're going to accept that proposal for $61,875 for all 3 years. Resolution number 13, we're amending the sexual harassment policy statement and procedure by adding an 800 number. The same thing with the employment practice. We were required to include that in the employment manual. And then we've got the payment of claims. Additionally, I have an update, a 6-month semi-annual budget performance report for the period ending June 30th, 2022. The adopted budget appropriations of $3 million has been increased to $3,350,000 due to the $350,000 transfer to the Gardner Hollow Road capital project. The expenditures to date total $1,444,535. Using 43% of the $3,350,000 revised budget appropriation. The unusual expenditures to date include the legal services totaling $59,080. Let's see. The mortgage tax revenue is exceeding above budget estimates by $50,000. Sales tax is currently running 5.7% above the budget estimates, with a negative impact from gasoline tax exemption. Building permit fees are at $127,454. The Parks and Recreation Department, this period ended at the end of June. Their very busy period when they take in their revenue is really July and August.
So we'll have to wait till September to get a really clear picture. But at the moment, the total revenues represent 39% of the estimated total revenues. And again, all of, the summer hasn't come in, which is the big. And the expenditures to date total $170,502, or 25% of the budget. Again, the big expenses haven't come in. Chlorine has not doubled, is it quadrupled? I couldn't remember exactly what it was, and I didn't want to exaggerate. Quadrupled. So we're looking forward to see what that's going to cost for the end of the year. The highway fund, the adopted budget appropriations, has been increased to $2,213,789 for additional road improvements, funding of $2 million. Expenditures to date total $813,351, consuming 37% of the budget appropriations. The largest variable expense is salt purchase, which totals $163,026, leaving $36,974 for November and December purchase. Actual revenues to date total $1,886,734, which is 85% of the budget estimate of $2,213,789. For the total state CHIPS funds expected to be $313,789, including a new state program, POP. It's for potholes, that they've increased, giving $26,782. So that was that. Public comment on agenda items. I have no one signed up, so we could begin.
Okay. Whereas Town Clerk Lorraine Abatantuano has provided copies of the minutes of the July 12, 2022 Town Board meeting to all members of the Beekman Town Board, and whereas Town Board members have had the opportunity to review said minutes, now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board hereby accepts the minutes of the July 12, 2022 Town Board meeting.
I'll second that.
Town Board discussion. Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Stiegler?
Aye.
Councilman Badalini?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
I have to abstain, I wasn't here.
And Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Whereas the Town Clerk, Lorraine Abatantuano, has provided copies of the minutes of the July 26, 2022 Town Board meeting to all members of the Beekman Town Board, whereas the Town Board members have had the opportunity to review said minutes, now therefore be resolved that the Town Board hereby accepts the minutes of the July 26, 2022 Town Board meeting.
I'll second.
Town Board discussion. Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Stiegler?
Aye.
Councilman Badalini?
I missed that meeting, so I'll abstain.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
And Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Resolution number 3, approve Town of Beekman budget revisions 2022-07. Whereas the Town of Beekman's accounting office recommends certain budget revisions based on department requests and/or accounting office review and analysis of expenditures or revenues, now therefore be it resolved that the following itemized revisions are approved by the Town of Beekman Town Board, identified as budget revision number 2022-07 as follows.
I'll second.
Town Board discussion. Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Stiegler?
Aye.
Councilman Badalini?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
And Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Whereas town law allows certain payments to be made without going through the routine claims auditing process, including the following: monthly recurring utility bills, fixed salaries of officers or employees engaged at agreed-upon wages, principal or interest payments on outstanding debt, court-ordered payments, payments for approved lawful contracts exceeding 1 year, retirement system contributions, and whereas the governing board of the local government may approve by resolution other payments to be made in advance of claims audit process for public utility services, employee benefits, postage, freight, and express charges, and whereas the town financial consultant recommends that the town approve this process to improve the efficiency of the vendor payment process, now therefore be it resolved that the town board approves that public utility expenses, employee health insurance, and other benefit payments, postage and freight charges can be paid in advance of routine claims audit.
I will second it.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Stiegler.
Aye.
Councilman Bellini.
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman.
Aye.
And Supervisor Cavucci.
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Whereas the town engineer has reviewed the following change order submitted by OCS Industries, Inc. Original approved contract total July 28, 2022 for $711,491. Change order number 001, July 29, 2022 for $387.61 for a new contract total of $711,878.61. Whereas the town engineer has recommended the town approve change order number 001 as attached. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Beekman approves change order 001 to the Gardner Hollow Bridge project at cost of $387.61. And be it further resolved that the supervisor of the town of Beekman is hereby authorized to sign any and all documents giving effect to this resolution, including but not limited to the requisite change orders.
I'll second.
Town board discussion? I'm delighted that this project is finally starting.
Yep.
Okay, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Stiegler.
Aye.
Councilman Bellini.
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman.
Aye.
And Supervisor Cavucci.
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 6. Whereas the town of Beekman is a party to a contract with Barone Construction Group Incorporated as a contractor for the continuation of the project known as the Town Hall Accessibility Improvement Project. And whereas the contractor has submitted an application and certification for payment number 4 dated July 29, 2022, requesting payment in the amount of $337,197.50, less 10% retainage, which is $33,719.75, less payments number 1 and 2 and 3 of $176,298.75, for a total of $127,179. See attached. And whereas a contractor has requested full or partial payment of the items on a continuation sheet that is attached to the payment request application covering the period of May 1st, 2022 through May 30th, 2022. And whereas the town engineer has reviewed the request and agrees with the quantity of the work completed application number 3 and has recommended the town board make payment as requested, subject to receipt of partial release and lien waivers from general contractors and subcontractors. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby authorizes the supervisor of the town of Beekman to make payment to Barone Construction Group, Inc., LLC, as requested in application and certification for payment number 3 in the amount not to exceed $127,197.
Can I make a friendly amendment on that?
What's that?
It appears that this is payment number 4, and when I carried over on the bottom,
I see.
whereas, and then now therefore be it resolved, I have payment number 3.
No.
So those should all be, each be a 4, please.
Okay. A second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we're gonna move them all to 4.
Yeah.
3 should be
Okay.
4s.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Sharon.
Could I have a second on
Yeah,
the
second.
total resolution? Okay.
No, he read the
No, I read
resolution.
it. I read
Who
the
seconded it?
resolution.
Oh, you read it? No,
Yeah.
I need a
I'll second.
second. Okay, Werner seconding. Okay, roll call vote?
Councilman Stiegler.
Aye.
Councilman Bellini.
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman.
Aye.
And Supervisor Cavucci.
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Resolution number 7. Whereas the town of Beekman is a party to a contract with Sport Tech Construction Corp., the contractor for the Beekman Recreation Baseball Field 1 project, and whereas the contractor has submitted an application and certification for payment number 1 dated August 5th, 2022, requesting payment in the amount of $32,500, less 5% retainage, $1,625, for a total of $30,875. See attached. And whereas the contractor has requested full or partial payment of the items on the continuation sheet that is attached to the payment request application, covering the period of June 30th, 2022 through August 3rd, 2022. And whereas the town engineer has reviewed the request and agrees with the quantity of work completed Application number 1 has recommended the town board make payment as requested. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby authorizes the supervisor of the town of Beekman to make payment to Sport Tech Construction Corp. As requested in application and certification for payment number 1 in the amount not to exceed $30,875.
I'll second that.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Councilman Stiegler?
Aye.
Councilman Badalini?
Aye.
Councilwoman Mormon?
Aye.
And Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Whereas the town board of the town of Beekman is considering the adoption of local law number 1 proposed of 2022, which would amend the process by which the town board sets administrative fees and penalties by deleting certain provisions of the code of the town of Beekman concerning fees and penalties and replacing them with new sections, including the authorization of the creation of a separate fee schedule to be approved by the town board, the proposed action, which referred the reader to that fee schedule. Whereas for the purposes of the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, SECRA, the proposed action is identified above, and whereas the town board has determined that the proposed action is a Type 2 action pursuant to Article 8 of the Environmental Conservation Law, Part 617 NYCRR, commonly known as SECRA, specifically 6 NYCRR section subsection 617-5C26, Agency Administration and Management, requiring no further environmental review. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby introduces for consideration of its adoption local law number 1 proposed of 2022, entitled A Local Law to Amend the Code of the Town of Beekman concerning fees and penalties in the form annexed hereto, and be it further resolved that copies of the aforesaid proposed local law be laid upon the desk of each member of the board, and be it further resolved that the town board shall hold a public hearing on said proposed local law at Town Hall, 4 Main Street, Beekman, New York, at 7:30 p.m. on September 13th, 2022. And be it further resolved that the town board hereby authorizes and directs the town clerk to act as follows with respect to the proposed local law. A, to post and to publish or cause to be published a public notice in an official newspaper to the town of Beekman of said public hearing at least 10 days prior thereto. B, to serve a copy of this resolution, the annexed proposed local law, and the public hearing notice to the municipal clerk of each abutting municipality not less than 10 days prior to said public hearing. C, to refer a copy of said local law to the planning board of the town of Beekman, and D, to provide a copy of this resolution and local law and the public hearing notice to the Dutchess County Department of Public Planning and Development for their advisory review and comment in accordance with Section 239 of New York State General Municipal Law.
No second.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Stiegler?
Aye.
Councilman Badalini?
Aye.
Councilwoman Mormon?
Aye.
And Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Whereas by resolution number 05-1022-4, adopted on May 10th, 22, the town board authorized the replacement of the Gardner Hollow Bridge, the project, at a cost of $952,443, including soft costs and contingency. And whereas the project requires construction materials testing and inspection services, and whereas the town engineer sought proposals for said construction materials and inspection services and received 2 proposals. Whereas the town engineer has recommended Advanced Testing Company for construction materials testing and inspection services, and whereas the town board desires to enter into an agreement with the Advanced Testing Company for construction materials and testing and inspection services. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby authorizes the town of Beekman to enter an agreement with Advanced Testing Company, and be it further resolved that the town board further authorizes the supervisor to execute the services agreement and fee schedule on behalf of the town of Beekman, and to deliver a copy of same to Advanced Testing Company.
I'll second that.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Stiegler?
Aye.
Councilman Badalini?
Aye.
Councilwoman Mormon?
Aye.
And Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Oh, resolution number 10, approved senior picnic and fees. Whereas the town of Beekman has in years past held its own senior picnic for the enjoyment of the many senior citizens within our town, and whereas many senior citizen residents of the town have expressed the hope and desire that the town should again this year hold its own senior picnic, and whereas funds were allocated in the adopted 2022 budget for this purpose and not to exceed $2,500, and whereas to be consistent with fee procedures for non-residents and other town programs and events, a schedule for fees has been established. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby authorizes the supervisor, in consultation with the town's recreation director and senior coordinator, to set a date of September 22nd, 2022, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., and organize a senior picnic here in Beekman, and be further resolved that the town board senior residents shall be admitted to the senior picnic free of charge, and be further resolved that non-resident seniors that have already been grandfathered into other senior events will be charged $5 to attend the senior picnic, and all other non-resident seniors and non-seniors will be charged $10 to attend the picnic. And be further resolved that the Recreation Department is authorized to collect these fees in accordance with all of Town of Beekman policies, and be further resolved that the supervisor is authorized to engage vendors for the provision of food and entertainment provided in all events, that the amounts thus committed do not exceed the amounts budgeted therefore.
I'll second.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Councilman Stiegler.
Aye.
Councilman Bellini.
Aye.
Councilwoman Women.
Aye.
And Supervisor Cavucci.
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Resolution number 11, whereas the 2022 budget included funding for entertainment for the annual Fall Festival scheduled for October 1st, 2022, now therefore be it resolved that the following expenditures for the Fall Festival are hereby authorized, just for fun for the following games with delivery and setup. Climb the Ladder, $405. Basketball Shoot, $96. Hit the Bucket, $35. Feed the Bear, $95. Doghouse Putt and Win, $35. Music by Noise in the Basement, $500. Sugar Pumpkins, $400. The Sugar Pumpkins are an approximate because we haven't gotten, but that was the ballpark last year. I know there's shortages this year, so I'm not sure what they will be. So, I need a second.
I'll second it.
Okay. Town board discussion? Okay, well, I'm looking forward to this. I think it's a unique, a little bit different than we've done. Danny has come up with a unique idea where we're going to try and have a day for all age groups, you know, the children, and 2 different locations. So, and the music is good for the kids. I mean, the music was really a wonderful evening in July. So I'm hoping we get a big turnout and it's a nice day.
Is there a written date for that?
No.
No. Okay.
So, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Stiegler.
Aye.
Councilman Bellini.
Aye.
Councilwoman Women.
Aye.
And Supervisor Cavucci.
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Whereas the services of an independent auditor is required to audit the town of Beekman's financial records for the fiscal years ending December 31st, 2022, December 31st, 2023, and December 31st, 2024, and whereas one proposal was submitted to the financial advisor, Tom Carey, and the town board for their review, now therefore be it resolved that EFPR Group CPA 6390 Main Street, Suite 200, Williamsville, New York, 14221, is hereby appointed to perform the year-end audits at a fee not to exceed $61,875 for all years in accordance with EFPR Group CPA's proposal.
I'll second.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Councilman Stiegler.
Aye.
Councilman Bellini.
Aye.
Councilwoman Women.
Aye.
And Supervisor Cavucci.
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Whereas pursuant to Section 296 of the New York State Executive Law, the town of Beekman must formulate a sexual harassment policy and complaint form, which is in compliance with the New York State modal policy. And whereas on July 29th, 2022, New York State signed into law Section 812B/A.2035B, which amended the New York State human rights to include a hotline and require it to be added. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Beekman amends the town of Beekman policy statement and procedure against sexual harassment and other forms of harassment as attached hereto, and made a part hereof as the official policy of the town. And be it further resolved that the town shall provide a copy of this policy along with the attached complaint form within 5 days of the adoption by the town board. And be it further resolved that the town's sexual harassment officers are designated as Teresa Manzo, Linda Bloomer, Danny Plastini.
I'll second.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Councilman Stiegler?
Aye.
Councilman Bellini?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
And Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Okay, Resolution 14, resolutions amending the Employment Practices Compliance Manual. Whereas the town board previously adopted the town's Employment Practices Compliance Manual with an effective date of January 1st, 2016, and whereas on July 29, 2022, New York State signed into law Section 812B A2035B, which amended New York State human rights to include a hotline and require it to be added to employee handbooks. So we're adding a hotline. Now therefore be resolved that the town board of the town of Beekman amends the town of Beekman Employee Practices Compliance Manual as attached hereto and made a part hereof as the official policy of the town, and be resolved that the amended town's Employment Practices Compliance Manual shall take effect immediately.
I'll second.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Stiegler?
Aye.
Councilman Bellini?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
And Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Resolution number 15, payment claims. Whereas the bookkeeper has audited and approved claims pursuant to Section 119 of Town Law as set forth in the attached abstracts, be it resolved that the payment therefore is hereby authorized as follows. Claims to be paid from the A General Fund, $34,687.01. Claims to be paid from the DA Highway Fund, $5,509.07. Claims to be paid from the SS Dover Ridge Sewer District, $161.96. Claims to be paid from the T-Trust and Agency Fund, $2,718.67. Claims to be paid from the H Capital Fund, $93,273, for a total of $136,349.71. 8/4/2022, payroll number 15, general fund $59,425.97, highway fund $20,447.46, for a total of $79,873.43.
I'll second.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Councilman Stiegler?
Aye.
Councilman Bellini?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
And Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Okay. We've concluded that. Any town board business?
I just have the I have general bulletin.
Oh, great, okay.
Under, for the fire department, an activity report. I didn't have the one for June last month, so here's the one for June. Fire-related responses, 11 for the month of June. EMS responses, 90, for a total of 654 calls so far this year. And for July, we had 19 fire-related calls, total 109 for the year. EMS responses, 108, giving us a total of 672, for a grand total of 781 calls so far this year. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah,
Okay.
Dutchess County announcement?
Do you have something? No. No, yeah, you have something, right?
I thought you.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Dutchess County successfully launches Regional 988 Hub. Saturday, July 16, 2022 marked the national launch of 988, an easy-to-access mental health hotline that connects people experiencing a mental health crisis to national suicide prevention lifeline call centers, including the call center in Dutchess County, where they can talk or text with trained mental health professionals who can help them. The National Suicide Hotline Designation Act of 2020 established the 988 as the universal telephone number for a national suicide prevention and mental health crisis hotline. The simple three-digit number is more easily remembered and more likely to be utilized in a crisis.
Okay, thank you.
Mary, I just wanted to say one thing
Sure.
if I can. Just wanted to let everybody know that school taxes are going to start, we're going to start collecting on 9/12, September 12th. The hours for collection would be Monday through Thursday between 8 and 4:45. And of course, if you have any, where you need to come in, please call me. So we're going to start collecting September 12th, and that goes to October 11th. And then with a 2% penalty, it's from October 12th until November 1st. So if anybody has any questions, please give us a call.
Yet when the bills will be mailed out?
Yep, so the bills will be mailed out the Wednesday after Labor Day.
Okay.
All right, thank you. And then public comments, Leonard? Yeah, you signed up. Public comments?
Good evening again. My name is Leonard Jerem. I live at 112 Bayou Drive. Thanks to the Recreation Department, I've come to a meeting that I've got a lot of information from, and I wish them continued success. I have never used the swimming area, but I love the fact that the town is getting usage of everything. A couple of things. You voted on the picnic. Is there going to be a grab and go? Or is it going to be in the...
It's in the community center.
In the community center? Okay. The board member, there was no board said anything about replacing the August 23rd town board meeting because I found out that is primary day and therefore there's no meeting that night. So if there's no meeting that night and there's going to be no meeting for the rest of the month, it should be announced that the Dutchess County picnic, which includes our town and LaGrange, is on the 31st, and it's over Freedom Park. But you have to sign up for it, and I don't know whether that's a grab and go or not either. I skipped one thing, and that is, can the building and the zoning handle all? And now this is because of what I skipped in the meeting about the Airbnb. Can they handle all this work? I mean, I understand you are understaffed anyway, and now you're going to, unless you're going to...
Actually, Dutchess County, I don't know if you had seen it, we had discussed, Dutchess County has a program that, a compliance program that will cost the town nothing.
Exactly, but I'm just saying, if there's not going to be a meeting on the 23rd, then for the public to know that they can sign up and go to that meeting, go to that picnic on the 31st.
Well, the reason I didn't announce it is because they've missed the sign-up date. So I don't know what the county does after that. We'd already did that at a prior board meeting in time for the sign-up date, but the sign-up date is passed.
I beg to differ. I called up and they said, if you haven't signed up, you can. So maybe
Okay.
it's worth checking out. I noticed that, I'm a notice of things, and the planters outside are missing. Maybe somebody stole them. That were on top of where the trees were cut down, or maybe it's just too hot to put them out there because...
No, they've been put to the other side of the building.
Okay. May I make a suggestion that maybe you put some garden gnomes out there on top of the cut down trees? And you don't have to worry about the planters. You can just, everybody walk by and see a rabbit or something sitting there. And as far as the last thing is about the veterans, I know that we had a town board member who was trying to stay in touch with everything that's going on with the vets. I would suggest that if you want, since I've been keeping in touch with Adam Roach, who's in charge of Dutchess County vets, that he put the town board on the mailing list or an email list so that you
We
guys,
are, and we do announce
you
these
do?
things. Mhm.
Okay, because I was able to attend their
picnic?
Picnic at Camp Nomi.
Right, we announced it. God bless
And
you.
that property, that scout camp, was bought by the county, and it will now be permanently used for those for that activity. And once again, thanks everybody for sticking around, because half the audience walked out, and I always have that problem where we come with an agenda and then they leave. Doesn't anybody want to hear what I have to say? Thank you.
All right, thank you, Leonard. Okay, thank you.
Just one more thing. The primary election is August 23rd?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the early voting, I heard last night, starts in the library in East Fishkill.
Okay.
For those that are interested, this Saturday.
This
For
Saturday?
those that are
Starts this
interested,
Saturday?
this Saturday. At the
Okay.
library in East Fishkill.
In East Fishkill,
Yeah.
okay. And I'm sure the Board of Elections, if you contact them, they have additional information.
And it's
for-
on the website.
and on the website, right. Okay, thank you everyone for coming. Safe travels home. I make a motion to close the meeting.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. September 13th.
You did that. Was that when it was?
Yeah. I just heard it last night. We mentioned it.
Ta-da,
Was the,
Steve from City.
absentee
Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Heather. Thank you.